And welcome back to the Olympics 2026, Northern Italy, and today it's the women's downhill, live from Cortina D'Ampezzo in the very top northeast corner of Italy. Once again, welcome to everybody. We had a great time yesterday. We had almost 3,000 people on the stream. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. And today, of course, we have the huge story, the story that everybody's been talking about now for just over a week. Lindsey Vonn, you can see her in the picture up here on the side. I'll get to my screen layout in just a second here. Lindsey Vonn with a torn ACL, bone bruise, and meniscus damage is racing today at age 41. It's got to be her last Olympics, maybe her last race. I think there's a lot of anticipation around her performance today. What's going to happen? You know, she's 41. She has a reconstructed right knee. She has now a damaged left knee. She's got a big brace on that knee. Did two of the training runs on Friday and Saturday. I think she was even third yesterday in the second training run, though it doesn't really matter. They actually had to cut that training run short by after only 21 racers because of fog in the center section. And what's interesting to me is they have still decided to start the race at the same time, even though the weather pattern with the fog, with all that problem with visibility through the center section. Actually, right after the big rocks that you see in the background image here, this is an image of, if I get out of the way a little bit, this is the image of the Tofane course. You saw it in the thumbnail as well before. And they come down through these big rocks. They start way up in 2,300 meters of elevation. You can see in the bottom right, the Tofane course has a length of 2,560 meters. So 2.5 K, about 1.6 miles. The descent is 750 meters, which is almost 2,400 feet. And the max gradient is 64%. A little bit of history. There was one medal sweep by a country back in 1964. The Austrians swept the first time they hosted the Olympic Winter Games in Innsbruck. And Katja Seitzinger of Germany back in 94 and 98 in, I guess that was Lillehammer and Nagano. Also back-to-back. So she had back-to-back wins, and the Austrian women swept once. We saw by the men there's never been a repeat winner, and no country has ever swept. All right, up in the top right of the screen here, you will see the medal count. Italy, Japan, and Norway with 3 medals so far in the games after one full day of competition. There you have the picture of Lindsey Vonn, and this is the historic medal count in the women's downhill, with Switzerland with the most golds at 6 and Austria with the most total medals at 16. So, hey everybody, thanks for watching. Join the conversation, put your comments down below. Happy to have you here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have an exciting race, so let's get into the start list for today. We're going to have live timing from the FIS website. But yeah, let's get right into the start list because it's interesting. They got to draw numbers last night. Mallory Blanc will be starting number 1. And now we know her how? Because last week she won the Super G in Crans-Montana. She'd never finished, I think this year, 29th and 30th were her two results in Tarvis. So she doesn't have a whole lot of success to go back on, but she won last week's Super G. So she gets to start number 1. Number 2 will be, hold on a second, I got one thing over here. Yeah, number 2, Ariane Redler of Austria. 7th last week in the Super G, 18th in the Super G in Tarvis, and 20th in the downhill in Tarvis. Federica Brignone, coming back from injuries. She hasn't really had much of a chance to practice. She was 6th in the giant slalom a couple weeks ago in San Vigilio, and she was 18th last week in the Super G, so she's still kind of testing it out. Jasmine Fleury hasn't had any good results yet this year, just a 30th in downhill. And the real contenders, the medal contenders, start at around number 6. So Janine Schmidt of Switzerland also hasn't been better than 20th so far. And then we get to Breezy Johnson, who's been really, really good. Breezy Johnson of the US, starting 6th. And she was 3rd in the Super G in Crans-Montana and 6th in the downhill in Tarvis. Number 7 is going to be Nicole Delago. I think she was the bronze medal winner 4 years ago in Beijing. Laura Pirovano of Italy with bib number 8. Then we get to Kasia Wickoff-Lee, number 9. Emma Eicher, number 10 from Germany. Kira Weidle-Winkelmann, who was very good in the final training run yesterday. And then number 13, you see her up here in the top right of my screen as that slideshow winds its way through. She is going to be starting 13th, Lindsey Vonn. And if we look at her stats a little bit, she didn't start last week because she crashed a week ago Friday in the Super G in Crans-Montana, but she was 2nd at the Super G in Tarvis, 3rd in the downhill in Tarvis. She has 590 points already this year. She's had a great year, 2 victories, I believe, and I think she is still leading the women's, let's see real quick, the women's downhill. She is 6th overall in the World Cup standings, and in the downhill, she's still 1st with 400 points. So she's had a really, really good season, and then that injury last week during the downhill in Crans-Montana when 3 of the first 6 racers crashed, 2 of them at the same spot. Lindsey Vonn and Nina Ortlieb crashed at exactly the same place. Nina Ortlieb was lucky. She went in skis first. Lindsey Vonn, not so lucky. Airbag deployed on her back, and she went backwards into the net and caught her left ski in the netting, which put her left leg out at a very awkward angle, causing that bad injury. Back to the starting line. So after number 13 is Lindsey Vonn. Okay, here we go. 14th, Miriam Puchner. 15th, Sofia Goggia from Italy, another favorite. Corinne Suter, who I think won the gold last time in Beijing. Jackie Wiles, another American, at number 17. And then Nina Ortlieb, who is also a medal contender. We know her dad won the Olympics back in the day, also won a world championships. And then that's kind of the bulk of the real favorites. After 18, there's still some good people. We've got Elvedina Muzaferia, always good for a surprise. Laura Gauche, and it's interesting. Number 33, Matilda Schwenkau. We're going to have a shout out to Leon from yesterday's chat, yesterday's live stream of the men's downhill. He was asking about where you can watch the training runs. I know the Austrian website had the training runs on their broadcast company, their national broadcast company, but Leon's sister is Matilde Schwenke, and she is start number 33 from Chile. And apparently she used to train through one of the big ski schools or ski resorts up in Vermont in the United States. So Matilda Schwenke, shout out to one of our folks here in the chat following the live stream from yesterday. Don't know if you're here yet today, Leon, to watch with us. But yeah, we are ready to see how she does today. We will watch all 36 racers today. All right, that's our goal. We'll get through all 36. I'm waiting for the live stream over here to start. I'm watching it today on RTVE.es, and it should be starting in less than a minute. So as soon as that starts, we're going to find out if this image up here with the blue sky is going to be correct. They had fog, again, like I mentioned, coming through that big rock massif. The Dolomites in northeastern Italy are huge. They get up to over 3,000 meters, good 10,000 feet. A lot of people know the three chimneys, the Tre Cimini del Lavaredo. It's a formation of three vertical walls, three columns, made most famous for American viewers from the movie Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone, opening scene where they're doing a traverse from one of the towers to the other. And yeah, I won't spoil the movie for you. Watch it. It's exciting. Action movie, Sly Stallone, trying to get the live stream to start here, and it is not starting. We are 4.5 minutes away from the first rider. So I'm just trying to make sure I get, it should be starting right now. The women's, if that doesn't work, I'm going to switch over to the Austrian broadcast system in a minute by way of VPN, but we should be getting that feed any second now. It should have started just a few seconds ago. I'm really curious about the weather. I want to see what's happened with that fog in the center section, and how we're going to do today with the race. Not getting that to start. That's unfortunate. All right, if we can't get the Spanish one to start in the next minute, we are going to switch to the Austrian downhill. Hey everybody, see a lot of people are jumping on. Thanks for watching. Super excited to see the women's downhill in the Olympics today. The big story, once again, Lindsey Vonn with her ruptured ACL, bone bruise, and meniscus damage, starting with bib 13. So in just about 25 minutes from now, Lindsey Vonn will be, all right, I have video feed, and the camera racer is going down now. We have gorgeous weather, just beautiful, coming through the really steep part down between these two big rock faces. It's just incredible. We have full sun. A couple of wispy clouds up in the sky in the distance. You can see all the way across the valley. I used to spend quite a bit of time in Cortina D'Ampezzo back in the 80s. Had a friend there, used to visit a lot, do a lot of hiking in the summer, skiing in the winter. Cortina is beautiful, beautiful. I've been back there with my wife, and when our first kid was about a year and a half old. Just beautiful. It's a couple hours north of Venice, and they have special buses for the Olympics that'll take you right up from Venice to Cortina, where all the women's alpine skiing is taking place. I don't see any fog. This is going to be an absolutely beautiful, beautiful race today. Cortina got a ton of snow this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even into Thursday. There was snow. Then they got in. They had to cancel one of the training runs. The second training run went off okay. The third one, okay. But they worked on the slope a lot. The course is looking fantastic. The final jump looks like they got the geometry altered just a little. I noticed that last jump coming into the finish line had been a little bit too tight a radius coming in. They were coming in at an angle. I hate when they set up jumps where people come in at an angle at 120K per hour, 75 miles an hour. That is brutal. We've got drone coverage today. We've got drones coming from the top section, following them down. We got these POV drones being controlled by the broadcast company who's doing this. I don't know if Italy's RAI, R-A-I, that's their national broadcast company, if they're the ones doing all of this. Looks great. People in the stands. It seems a bit chilly. I'm not exactly sure what the weather is. Cortina weather today as far as temperature goes. Cortina weather today, let's just make sure we got that. It's 3 degrees. It's actually warm. Okay, so 3 degrees Celsius, which is about 38 degrees Fahrenheit. Very little wind, no precipitation, humidity at 54%, the wind at 2 kilometers per hour. We are 1 minute away Okay, 1 minute away from Mallory Blanc of Switzerland. She is now listed. All right, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna get back to our live stream. You can see me moving the screen around up here. Down in the bottom, we have the start list, and it says Mallory Blanc is next, and that is going to switch to started in just a few seconds. And then we will scroll up here and see all of the split times. We have four split times and two speed traps, four speed traps. All right, we've got 4 split times and 4 speed traps, and I can see over here she is started. I want to see what the lag is today. We've got probably about a 23-second lag, and this seems to be pretty common throughout the races that I've been covering lately. In Kitzbühel, in Crans-Montana yesterday was almost 45 seconds. So she's 20. All right, we're about 23, 24 seconds lag. Beautiful, beautiful conditions. This is what everybody dreams of when they see the Olympic downhill races. They want to see this brilliant sunshine, great snow conditions, you know, blue sky. It's wonderful. All right, she is 41 seconds in. Second speed check is 126 kilometers an hour. I'm looking, she just went down that jump, 126. They're the 2 rock pillars that I was telling you about, and they come over a jump and down, and I think that's the point where the gradient is that maximum that you see down in the bottom right of my screen, 64%. A beautiful jump, and now we've got the drone following behind. She's opening up a little bit too much on some of these steeper S curves. Remember, Mallory Blanc hadn't done anything really great in her career until last week, and then out of nowhere, she won the Super G in Crans-Montana. So she's through the 4th time check in 1:20.09. Her last speed check is 1:05, and she is in the finish in 1:38.77. All right, you can see all the different time checks here and all the different speed test traps here. And then down here, the flag, the finish line, that's what we have, 1:38.77. I'm just watching her come through. There's several waves as you come down the last 10 seconds to the final jump, and then it's straight through to the finish line. And Mallory Blanc of Switzerland has us started. Ariane Radler next, number 2 in just a few seconds. Up at the top here, you see race in progress. You got this marquee scrolling above all the split times, and it'll tell us what the interval is. Start interval, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So there's almost a minute after the previous racer finishes until the next racer starts. So we should be seeing Ariane Radler start in just a few seconds. Again, if we scroll down a little bit, she is started. You can see now Ariane Radler started, Federica Brioni on deck. And yep, Ariane Radler is through the first time check, 8/100ths back of Mallory Blanc. So now we get to compare her speed, very, very close. And now through the second speed trap, she's up ahead of Mallory Blanc. So 128, and boy, she's put 4/10ths into Mallory Blanc's time now. And I was saying Mallory Blanc was kind of coming out of her tuck through some of the S turns that normally you see, you know, people just, oh wow, it's just breathtaking to see these 2 big rock formations, and then the skier just jumps out between them. Amazing stuff. 108K off that jump, 38 meters through the air, so over 100 feet through the air on that jump. And Ariane Radler is destroying the time set by Mallory Blanc. She's now 8/10ths up, and she's just looking really, really tight. She looks like she's a bit of a shorter, strong base, strong leg skier, and she's just keeping that tuck so beautifully. She's now over a second ahead. This is going to be a huge new time. Yep, she's through in first, 1:37.20, 1.5 seconds ahead of Mallory Blanc. So was Mallory Blanc last week, was her win just kind of flash in the pan? Or did she just have a bad day? Like I said, it seemed like she was a bit intimidated. I'm seeing the feed now of Ariane Redler. She kept really, really great parallel ski formation there, really tight tuck, really deep, deep tuck. And she is in with a huge best time. And we will find out pretty quickly with Federica Brignone. Again, her coming off the injury, we'll have to see how she does. So she'll start in about 20 seconds now. How are we doing, guys? Comments? Got any comments? Hey, Leon, welcome. Good to see you again. Nice to see you here. Like I said, Matilda, bib 33. We will watch her. We will follow that. So, all right. Federica Brignone on course, heading towards the first time check. This will be a really good test to see how she's doing. Was Ariane Redler just having a great day? Was Mallory Blanc just having a terrible day? Well, Federica Brignone is through the first time check, 7/100s up, but I'm really waiting for that second time check coming up here in just a few seconds, and we'll know. She's 6/100s behind, so really tight now. Looks like Redler and Brignone very close, and Mallory Blanc, unfortunately, in a whole different world, falling back really far with bib number 1. Federica Brignone losing time now, 3/10 back. So this is starting to show me that Ariane Redler's time was really pretty amazing. So 3/10, and we're coming now into the fourth and final time check. And Federica Brignone has made up some time. She's only 1/100th back now. Her speed is a little faster than Redler, so if she can keep it up over these last few waves and the final jump, she could be our new leader. Coming down now, the final few seconds, 1:37.20. No, she misses out. She misses out by 9/100ths of a second. Federica Brignone, back from injury, valiant effort today, but falls short 9/100ths to the time set by Ariane Redler of Austria. So Austria first, Italy second, Switzerland third, excuse me, through the first 3 racers, and she's going to be disappointed. 9/100ths. Forza Fede, signs for her. She's happy though. She's really happy because, you know, with the injury she had and the comeback, I think really what she's going for is to get as many miles into her legs in race conditions to be ready for the Super G later in the week, and then what I guess used to be really her top discipline, which is the giant slalom. So definitely looking for her to get those miles in her legs, to build that confidence, to be ready for the Super G. She did have some issues over some of the waves and these small bumps, these small hills and jumps, because she was getting sideways and she had that kind of one arm up there, the other arm up this way, getting a little nuts. Okay, the Swiss now have Jasmine Fleury, and the team radio comments, I was just looking at the team radio comments, they're like, the jumps are good, just take them fast. And she is on her way, and we're gonna slide back up here. And yeah, she's 900ths faster through the first time check. I always love watching them come between these two rocks. So there's a hard left turn and then right down, super steep, the jump between these two rock formations. Gosh, you got to watch later. If you didn't have a chance to get a feed, you could watch later on some of the summaries and see what I'm talking about 20 seconds in, 22 seconds in, and see that image there of those 2 rock formations and the skiers just coming in and heading down 64 degrees of steepness there, of gradient. All right, Jasmine Fleury through the fourth and final time check, 1 second behind, not having a great day. And this really, really looks good for Ariane Redler. I know there's still a bunch of favorites, a lot of the favorites all to come. Ooh, Jasmine Fleury really, really struggling. She got pulled, almost missed a gate there, and she is through in 1:38.51, third place out of 4, still just ahead of Mallory Blanc. but way behind Ariana Radler and Federica Brignoni. And yeah, Jasmine Fleury really, really struggled with some of these sweeping curves that led to small jumps. Nice over the last jump and through, as I'm watching, 25, 30 seconds later, and she just hanging her head going, oh, I blew it. She's shaking her head. The team, the coaches and the dignitaries, all these Olympic committee guys standing there shaking their heads and upset, because I think they probably hoped for more. All right, Janine Schmidt of Switzerland. So 3 Swiss in the first 5 starters today, and she is on course. You can see she has started, and Breezy Johnson next, guys. Breezy Johnson, who's been so good in training from the United States. All right, through the first time check, Janine Schmidt already 1900s back, but pretty quick at that time check and speed trap. I think there are a couple where they're combined. I think at speed checks and sector time 1, I think that's the exact same place. And then there's some places where the time check and the speed are in a different place, it looks like. So all in all, 4 time checks, 4 speed traps, and Janine Schmidt is losing time, 2700s back now through the second time check, coming into the third one any second now. That comes at around 58 seconds in, and she's 88 100s, so she lost 0.6 between sector 2 and sector 3. How we doing on the chat, folks? Nice to see everybody here. Please join the chat. Tell me what you think is going to happen with Lindsey Vonn today. Is she going to win a medal, or is she going to crash and have a terribly bad way to end her career? I'm hoping that she does win a medal. I mean, she is one gutsy competitor. I don't know how you do this with a torn ACL. All right, so yeah, jump in, join the conversation. Back to the race, Janine Schmidt just about through, and she is through. 1.08 seconds behind. She finishes in 1:38.28 for third place, behind Ariana Radler of Austria and Federica Brignoni of Italy. And then the Swiss, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So the Swiss not having a great day here at the downhill. I wonder if it's also ski prep, because the time gaps are so big. Radler and Brignoni only 900s apart, and the Swiss all more than a second behind. That's a lot. I'm looking at Janine Schmidt, how she did. Oh, she almost got turned backwards on one of the jump, but recovered beautifully right back into a deep tuck. It looks like, yeah, the last 2, Fleury and Schmidt, both had the same issues going over these waves, getting their ski tips up a little too much. Breezy Johnson in the start house and on her way. It says started, and we should have her first time any second now. One of the big favorites. Definitely, this is where it starts. These bibs 6 through 19, these next 13, 14 racers, and she's through the first time check, 3 100s behind. 90 kilometers an hour, and then down the really steep bit. Oh yeah, she's got some issues too. I'm looking at the thing over here. But into time check 2, 44 100s ahead. So whatever happened early on because of the lag, yeah, that jump really took her off to the side there. But then super fast, 129 kilometers an hour, and riding all that speed. But yeah, some of the issues have now dropped her back. She's only 1400s ahead now. So she lost 0.3 just in that one section in 17 seconds between time check 2 and 3. Heading into time check 4, the final one, now we're going to get a really good idea of where she stands vis-a-vis Ariana Radler, and she's had a great section 4. 0.8 up now. She made up 0.7. So a brilliant section 4 for Breezy Johnson. Big air on the jump. Coming down, she's super fast, the fastest time in the fastest speed in the 2 last ones, and wow, a brilliant time. Breezy Johnson has blown this wide open, 1:36.10. We now have 3 separate races going on. We've got Breezy Johnson 1 second ahead of Ariana Radler and Federica Brignoni, and then another second back to the 3 Swiss racers. Look at this down here on the bottom. 1:10. That's a huge, and she's loving it. She's in the finish area, you know, across the finish line, and my God, she's going crazy. She's got her finger up, number one. She is absolutely loving it. She just nailed this. And you can see the times here. 7/10 she took out of Ariana Radler in sector 4, and then another 2.5 tenths in sector 5. All right, Nicole Delago is on course, headed towards the first time check. And this will be interesting because, like I said, we've got 3 races going on now. We've got Breezy Johnson way above everybody. Then we've got Ariana Radler and Federica Brignoni a second back, and then another second back. You've got the 3 Swiss racers. Nicole Delago almost half a second back at the first time check, and her speed really, really bad in the first speed trap, better in the second speed trap, the fastest even at 130.01. Oh, she almost got taken out in that between the first and second time check there. And she's losing more time. 7/10 now, 3/4 of a second back through sector 2, coming into sector 3 in just a few seconds. That's only about 16, and yeah, she's lost a little bit more, but not too much. She's still on track for second if she can keep it together here. Nicole Delago of Italy, another local favorite. And we're going to see now at about 1:18 is time check 4, sector 4. Ooh, and she lost a lot of time. She's now 1:27 back. Breezy Johnson's time is now looking really, really amazing. Delago's slow through the third and fourth speed traps, and she's coming to the finish now, probably about mid 137s, 137.65. So she is 4th. All right, let's scroll down a little and see that. We've got Breezy Johnson again in first, 1:10 ahead of Ariana Radler, and then 1:19 ahead of Federica Brignoni. So second and third separated by just 9/100ths of a second. Then Nicole Delago in 4th, 1.5 seconds back. We just saw her. And then there's that big gap to the 3 Swiss racers who are all now more than 2.1 seconds behind. So the Swiss, I mean, yeah, Breezy Johnson just blew it out of the water. But something with the Swiss, whether it's their skis, their waxing, because it is warm. We said it's +3. So yeah. Oh, and the replay here on Delago towards the bottom really, really struggled with some of the last jumps. The final jump was good, but kind of that 3/4 of the way down, she had a lot of trouble. Okay, Laura Pirovano on course, heading towards the first time check. You can see it right up here in the top left of the screen. Pirovano, no time yet, and then you'll see at the first sector time, there she is, 8/100ths up. Good first sector, good first speed. The second speed check comes right after that when they're going down that super steep area between the rocks, and she has the fastest speed yet. Laura Pirovano of Italy, super fast through the second speed trap, and we'll see now what that means. She's actually lost 3/10. So yeah, the landing of the jump after the speed trap took her off to the side a little bit, and she had to recover. She had to come out of her tuck a little bit. She's losing time now, and she is 1,500ths back at the third speed check. Still not bad, still second place. Could be in the cards for her. Sector 4 coming up in just a few seconds. That'll be a big one to see if she has a chance at second. Local hero, yep, 8/10ths back. She can afford to lose 3 more tenths and still have a shot at second. But remember, we've got a bunch of favorites still going. Pretty fast again through the final speed check. And here she comes into the finish. Laura Pirovano in second, 94/100ths back. So she does get ahead of Ariana Radler by 16/100ths, pushes Radler down to third, and now Federica Brignone already in fourth and out of medal contention. So Breezy Johnson 9/10 ahead of Laura Pirovano of Italy, and then Ariana Radler of Austria in third right now, 1.1 seconds behind. All right, next is Kaisha Vikhoff Lee of Norway, and she is just about to start. And looking over here, how we doing? Anything on the chat? Hey guys, join in, jump into the chat. We've got Lindsey Vonn coming up in just 5 racers. So tell me what you think is going to happen with Lindsey Vonn on that braced left knee after that bad fall last week, a week ago Friday in Crans-Montana, where she ruptured her ACL, and by some miracle of modern medicine, she's racing today. So, all right, Kaisha Vikhoff Lee on course. Let's scroll up and get her split times. She is fast. She's very fast through the first sector and through both of the first speed checks. So Kaisha Vikhoff Lee, speed demon through the first part of the course, and we'll see what that does, how that plays out on the second time check. And she has lost 3.5 tenths, a good third of a second between sector 1 and sector 2. She's now 1600ths behind. That would still get her second. Coming now into sector 3 time check. Should be just a few seconds. Yep. Oh, and she's back in the lead. So she made up 1800ths between sector 2 and sector 3. And looking really good. She's putting pressure on Breezy Johnson, who just a phenomenal race today. Almost a second ahead of everybody else. Kaisha Vikhoff Lee coming into sector 4. She lost more than half a second between 3 and 4. Her speed is off on both of the last speed traps, 3 and 4. Coming down to the finish, still could be second. We're going to find out in just a few seconds. Kaisha Vikhoff Lee crosses the finish line in 1:37.08. Third place, 98/100. So she missed out on second by 4 100ths and knocks Ariana Radler off the podium. Radler down to fourth now, 110 back, but still nobody within the 94 100ths of Breezy Johnson. Just an amazing run. Emma Eicher of Germany is next. We're just about to see her start. The interval again, I think it's 2:30. Which means there's almost a good minute between when one racer finishes and the next racer starts. They are really being conservative with that today. Emma Eicher waiting in the start house, looking over here at the start house and seeing, beautiful images there of Kaisha Vikhoff Lee, who finished third, 98 100s. And now we see Lindsey Vonn with bib 13, getting ready in her stars and stripes ski suit up at the top. But back to the race, it is Emma Eicher, bib 10 from Germany, and she is through the first sector time ahead in first 7 100ths ahead. Good speed on the first speed trap and the second speed trap, almost 130 kilometers an hour. So she's looking good. We'll know for sure when she hits that second sector time. She's lost 1400ths, still only 700ths off. So Emma Eicher, tall racer, good speed racer, huge jump through the rocks, and coming down. We're going to get the real good sense of it now. And she's back in the lead at sector 3. Emma Eicher, 1600ths ahead in first place. Now we've got, 35 seconds left in the race. One more sector time to see where she's at. And this is where Breezy Johnson really crushed it. She made up a whole second between 3 and the finish. Emma Eicher now back, losing some time, losing on speed, still only 4 100ths back at that final time check. And she almost lost it. This is not going to end with a victory for Eicher unless she can pull some magic out in the last few seconds. Coming down to the end, and she's through in second. Oh my gosh, only 4 100ths back. And I can tell you exactly where she lost it. She lost it at about a minute 10, minute 15 on some of the jumps, the ones that are kind of going around on a curve and getting launched. And she lost by 4/100ths of a second. Oh, and you can see the look on Breezy Johnson's face. She's like, oh my God, I lucked out here. 4/100ths. Emma Eicher can't believe it. She's leaning on the padded walls in the finish line there, and she just cannot believe it. But yeah, on the traverse, she got launched and her ski tips went up. And as soon as you get the ski tips up like that in a jump, and it happened on several jumps. She had so much speed, but on her jumps, 2 or 3 of the jumps, either the tips were up or the skis got uneven. She wasn't able to stay in how they stay in that deep tuck. Not able, but second place, which puts Pirovano down to third and Kajsa Wickhoff-Lee off the podium. Next up is Cornelia Hütter of Austria, and I think she's had some really great results this year. I think she won one race, and seeing her at the top, she's really getting bounced around, but very fast. And maybe that's why, because she's just taking so much speed, going through the rocks. 1/10 up, 130.3 kilometers an hour. She's now lost 3/10 and is a little over 2/10 back through the second time check, but now back into first by 7/100ths at the third sector timing. So about 15 seconds more now until we get to that last sector timing. Cornelia Hütter of Austria goes through sector 4 in 1:18.68. She's lost 7/10 of a second, and that will drop her down to third. She still has a chance at third, but her speed is gone. I'm going to have to look. Yeah, the jumps too. Skis both coming up in different directions over the jump. Way too much tip time, but she is in third, 86/100ths. So she has pushed Pirovano off the podium and Cornelia Hütter now into third, but the gaps, it's really, now the race has become, again, we said three different races, but it's Breezy Johnson and Emma Eicher, 1-2, just 4/100ths apart. And then there's a big gap back to Hütter, Pirovano, and Lee, and Radler and Brignoni. And they're all 5 people within 3/10. So yeah, Cornelia Hütter in third for now. We're getting close. Lindsey Vonn is in the hole. So on deck we have Kira Weidle-Winkelmann, and in the hole, using high jump references, because I used to be a high jumper, up, on deck, and in the hole. So Kira Weidle-Winkelmann is up, and Lindsey Vonn on deck, and Kira Weidle-Winkelmann has started. So we are only 3 minutes away now from Lindsey Vonn starting her race. And here we go. First time check for Kira Weidle-Winkelmann. And she is through the first time check in, what's going on here? 21:48, 15/100ths up. So the Germans clearly have speed. She's got the second fastest speed in that first speed trap, and she's come up to the second one, lost a little speed there. Maybe the Germans got the wax right. But she also looks like a little too much speed through some of the curves, and she's had to overcorrect. All right, gonna see now, she's 3/10 back through sector 2. And it's really sector 3 to 4 is where Breezy Johnson really took it to everybody, made up all that time. Kira Weidle-Winkelmann now 4/10 back through sector 3. Her jump was 108 kilometers and covered 40 meters on the really big jump. And now we're coming into the final time check, sector 4 time, and Kira Weidle-Winkelmann comes through sector 4 in 1:19.09, so 1:10 behind. This is slotting her in more like 5th or 6th. Her speed is no longer very fast. She's lost a good bit of speed through the 3rd speed trap, a little in the 4th speed trap, and now she crosses the finish line in 1:37.26. So she dropped all the way down to 7th. Look at that. She lost so much time. She lost 7/10 in sector 4. And a lot of people lost time there, but she, you know, she was doing so well until then. All right. And now what everybody's been waiting for, Lindsey Vonn up next. We're just waiting for this to switch over here where you see her name, Lindsey Vonn, USA. Next we'll change to started, and then we will see exactly how she survives on that ruptured ACL. 41-year-old, gotta be her last Olympics. There's just no way. I mean, any more damage, any more injuries, she's probably going to be out, you know, close to a year anyway. All right, she has started. Let's get back up here and look at the sector times. This is exciting stuff. You know, for the last 9 days, everybody's been on pins and needles. How will she do? How will she do? I'm looking at her now coming out of the start house. So first sector time, first split time is, what happened? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? I'm not seeing any times for her. Race interrupted. She's crashed. She crashed. Oh my gosh. Not even 20 seconds in, Lindsey Vonn is down. And you can just see there's a course hold. Everybody is, people, you know, with their hands on their face. 20 seconds in, her head's up. She's looking around. I'm trying to see what's going on here. She did not make it to the sector 1. She is still on her back. That left knee. And it's not a spot on the course where you would have thought. It's a pretty gentle left, right, left S-curve. Not a steep area. And they're showing the next racers, Miriam Puchner, number 14 of Austria, now in the start house, backing out, gloves off, skis off. And Team USA looking around. 14 seconds, 15, 16, maybe 16 seconds in to the race, Lindsey Vonn is down. And there are now 4 or 5 people around her. She has crashed badly. Her left leg and her right leg, they were not even. As she's laying on her back there, her right leg looked like it was pretty normal, ski fairly straight. Her left leg looked like the ski was pointing out more to the side. So I don't know if the brace gave out. I mean, she had such an industrial strength brace on there. I don't know. This is what I think a lot of people feared. A lot of people feared that Lindsey Vonn was taking too much of a risk. You know how on YouTube you see all these doctor, influencer doctors, they all put out videos going, is this crazy or what? Who does this? She's not up yet. She has 4 or 5 people around her. I think they're showing a picture maybe of her sister, and they are bringing a stretcher, a sled stretcher down. I gotta pivot a little here for a second, guys. I gotta make sure I plug in my laptop on the side where I'm watching the feed from RTVE here in Spain. All right, don't want to run out of battery. There we go. All right. A lot of consternation on the faces of the American fans. I'm not sure if this is her family or not. I've seen pictures of her mom before, I think, but there's a picture of an older gentleman. I'm an older gentleman, I'm over 60, and a younger lady who looks very much like Lindsey Vonn. So, yeah, They're showing pictures now more of the ski racers still up top. Lindsey Vonn, DNF, Miriam Puchner next, and then Sofia Goggia, Corinne Suter, and Jackie Wiles, Nina Ortlieb. So like I said, through number 18, 19, we will probably have the winner today, but now we're going to be delayed for quite a bit while people tend to. Lindsey Vonn crashed about 20 seconds in. Again, this is just brutal stuff. Part of me gets why she wanted to do this. Okay, we're seeing here, she's coming around the right turn. She lands on both skis, going into the right-hand turn. No, that's not her. Okay, this is skier number 11 that they're showing. I thought they were going to show what happened with Lindsey Vonn. They're showing just Cornelia Hutter and Emma Eicher, and yeah, they're just showing highlights from their runs and some of the jumps that they went over there. But right now, yeah, Lindsey Vonn is down. They do have a stretcher. They will have to evac her. But she is, what I could see, at least her head was up. She's holding her head up. She's talking to the medical staff who are attending to her right now. I'm sure just that the knee gave out. Either the knee gave out or the brace gave out. But it didn't look like a spot where that should have happened. I mean, I say that lightly, right? We're still looking. Can we get this full screen? We can get this full screen. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people tending to her now. Got her skis off. They're going to have to stabilize that left knee. Here we go. She comes over this little jump. Oh, she caught her right hand on one of the gates and it twisted her around 90 degrees. Oh, she hit, and then she cartwheeled face first into the snow. She took the turn too tight, hit the gate. It wasn't the knee that gave out, and then she hit on her face with the goggles protecting part, but it looks like she might have some bruises or cuts on her face. People watching on their phones now, watching the same replay that we're watching, and then because she got twisted around to the right. I'm going to try to recreate this a little bit here. She got twisted around to the right after she hit her right shoulder and elbow on the gate. She got twisted 90 degrees, came down on her skis perpendicular to the course. And that launched her again, and she flipped over back towards the front and landed on her face, skis up in the air behind her, landed on her face and rolled over, kind of cartwheeling, and then both of her skis back behind her, crash into the snow. That's a tough one to watch. Snoop Dogg, really. Snoop Dogg's in the house in a white fur coat. Yeah, they're still working on her. Given the conditions, you know, she could have some cuts, bruises on her face the way she landed. But yeah, she hit a gate with her right shoulder and elbow. It turned her 90 degrees to her right. Skis came down perpendicular to the course at 100 kilometers an hour, which then launched her as her two edges came down, caught, and then it launched her over, and then her face was the first part of her body to make contact with the snow. But then she did like half of a cartwheel from her face back to her feet, and got turned around there. And then, of course, the forces are going in every direction. and it's not going to end well. And it's really tough now for the racers behind because they're stuck. Hey, everybody, join the chat. Let's talk about this a little. Should Lindsey Vonn have competed or not? All right. Lindsey Vonn down. They're still attending to her, still trying to get her prepped for transport from the course down to the finish line, or maybe to a spot where they can get a helicopter to take her, depending on how bad it is. But yeah, she's had a really, really nasty crash just because, and it's not because her knee gave out. Her knee was fine. She took the turn too tight. She took the turn too tight, hit the gate with her right elbow and shoulder. They are bringing in a helicopter, showing images of the helicopter now coming in. And yeah, so she got turned 90 degrees to the right. When she came down and her left edge of her outside and inside ski hit the snow, dug in, which flipped her. It would have been so much better if she had come down on her back and slid only, but it slid her. It flipped her over, and then she came down kind of face first into the snow, did a half cartwheel that continued on to then her feet hitting the ground again. Her skis did not come off. And with the knee injuries that she has, when your skis don't come off, it's always worse. Trying to see where they're going to try to land the helicopter, or maybe they'll just let down the rope and attach the stretcher to that and just take her up. But yeah, the course hold is still in effect. I'm trying to see if I can see the helicopter flying in now. God, what a beautiful day, and what a terrible way for Lindsey Vonn to end her skiing career. I mean, I have to say that this is it. There has to be a point where you say there is no more point to it. A reconstructed right knee, a heavily damaged left knee from last week's crash, and now to crash out in the Olympics in a really hard way. This is just really tough to watch. Okay, the helicopter is coming in. It's one of these yellow medical helicopters in Italy, and they have somebody on the rope hanging down a good 100 feet below the helicopter. And yep, the people on the ground are giving the thumbs up. Come on down. We are ready. We are ready to hook her up. They're going to put her in this stretcher, I think. I don't think they're going to have her sit up. I think they're going to have her laying on her back and try to get her hooked up. Wow, even the rescue guy has a GoPro attached to his helmet. There's going to be some interesting footage on this later. You can see the snow starting to get whipped around from the rotors of the helicopter, even though it's so far up. Just shows you how powerful those rotors are. And now that rescue team member is just about landed. Here he is. He is on the ground. Ooh, nice landing. Landed on his feet, took 2 steps forward. He's bringing his pack over to them. He's got the cable and the little connecting carabiners ready. They're ready. They probably have like 4 or 6 wires from the different points on the stretcher to keep it stable and horizontal in air. Now the question is, do they take her up by herself, or does he sit with her next to it on the rope? So the evacuation of Lindsey Vonn is underway. They have everybody on site. 5 or 6 people got to her quickly. Got her prepped now. The helicopter is there. They've let down one of the rescue workers, and boom, she's already lifted up. She's in the stretcher and on her way. So really great shots of the helicopter and her. So there's Lindsey Vonn being transported away by helicopter. Hopefully no serious new injuries. I'm sure she's going to get scrapes on her face. I just hope that the knee didn't get hurt even worse. One way or another, she's going in for an ACL operation in the next week or so. There's just no other way, you know. She's just with a ruptured ACL already, and being in the brace. This is not what anybody wanted to see. I think everybody wanted the feel-good story. I think there was a bit too much hubris here with Lindsey Vonn to think that a ruptured ACL and an Olympic downhill race were a good combination. That said, when you are that competitive an athlete, when you've won as much as you have won, I get it. You're 41. This is your last hurrah. The crowd is cheering as the helicopter goes over. Send off for her. Not the send off she would have wanted. She would have wanted a medal. You know, she would have wanted at least to finish the race and have this be the end of her career, finishing the Olympic downhill, you know, to a crowd of thousands and thousands of adoring fans. And this is not what she would have wanted. Okay, back up at the start house, we have a test racer, F5, and we can see Sofia Goggia with number 15. She's doing all the visualization as she's ready. We've got Miriam Puchner of Austria with bib 14, and then Sofia Goggia with 15. So the fireworks are still heating up here. We will have Miriam Puchner, solid downhiller, capable of a medal run. Sofia Goggia, Corinne Suter, who I believe won last time. Jackie Wiles, a super strong American. And then Nina Ortlieb at number 18. And if there's going to be any change at the top, it's going to be in these next 5 racers. So stay tuned. We're gonna be back to racing, I think, in about 5 minutes. We're going to see up here. We've got anything on the marquee up here in the top. Race interrupted. No TV break after bib 15. So normally they would have had a TV break after Sofia Goggia. In the World Cup and in the Olympics, they tend to do groups of 15 and then a TV break. Breezy Johnson still leading the Olympic downhill, just 4 100ths ahead of Emma Eicher, and then Cornelia Hütter of Austria in third, but quite a ways back. Frederica Brignone, very happy so far, 8th, 119 back. She's also coming back from injury. She's getting miles in her legs in races. Hopefully for strong finish in the Super G and the Giant Slalom later in these Olympic Games. All right, how we doing on the chat, guys? Tell me what you think. Oh, hey, we got some people. Thomas, there you go, brother of Matilda. So we had Leon and Thomas. Hey guys, your sister is bib 33. We looked before. I'm going to scroll down. Matilda Schwanke. Where is that? Bib. A little trouble with the scroll mechanism. There we go. 33, Matilda Schwenke. Schwenke. Racing for Chile. Hey guys. Dark horse pick today. Dark horse pick. Whew, hard to say. I early on I was going to say it would be Nina Ortlieb. Also has come back from so many injuries, trying to live up to her father's victory in the Olympic downhill, I think back in '92 in Albertville. Paula Arain, welcome to the chat. Hey, so we've got a bunch of people in the chat. Thanks for joining. You know, I'm still waiting to see if anybody here thought that Lindsey Vonn should have raced today. Come on, guys, give me your comments on this. Should she have gone down the hill with a ruptured ACL? All right, we're looking at the footage again of Lindsey Vonn. She had a good top section, didn't quite make it to the first time check to see, but her knee looked solid coming over those early waves. And then she gets into this right turn. Here's one of the jumps. Oh, no, this is Breezy Johnson. Sorry. I saw the USA colors on her suit, and I couldn't see the number, but it was number 6. It was Breezy Johnson, and she remains in first. The test racer is about to go now. Here we go. In the start house, again, we got about a 30-second lag between what I'm seeing in the video transmission, lagging behind the live timing that we see here on this screen. So we have one test racer, and then back to the race, Miriam Puchner, number 14, and Sofia Goggia, number 15, Corinne Suter, 16, Jackie Wiles of the US, 17, Nina Ortlieb, 18. So any more medal changes, I think, will come in these next 5 racers. Always tough to be up top and to be ready, and then to have to stop. It's been, what, almost 20 minutes now since Lindsey Vonn crashed. They have treated her on site and got her prepped into a stretcher and picked up by the rescue helicopter. We don't have any more details yet. Breaking, Lindsey Vonn crashes. Seeing what the BBC says. I'm just trying to see if anybody has any information yet on what injuries she actually has. Trying to get the Google results down to the past hour. The Daily Mail from the UK. Says just 13 seconds into her run, rounded the second corner where she appeared to lose control and crash. Nothing about what the injuries. Hold on. She sped over a hill, careened into one of the plastic gates. She was seen lying on the ground with her skis still attached and looked in agony, wincing as her head sank backwards. So she was heard crying in pain as the medics attended her on the slope. Wow, this is just super, super sad. All right, Miriam Puchner is on course now. We are back to the race. We'll get back to Lindsey Vonn's situation in a bit, but Miriam Puchner, 2/10 back through the first time check, a little slower on the speed traps, half a second back through sector 2, almost a second back at sector 3. It's got to be so tough to be the first one back out on course after such a long break with an injury, a scary injury. So yeah, too bad for Miriam Puchner to have to come down in this situation. Of course, nothing compared to what we feel for Lindsey Vonn and what she must be going through with all that pain. Miriam Puchner coming through the final time check, 1.5 seconds back. Not super fast, and she ends up 9th in 1:37.65. So that slots her in just tied with Nicole Delago, ahead of then the Swiss trio of Janine Schmidt, Jasmine Fleury, and Mallory Blanc. Sofia Goggia is next. Local hero, super skier, has won so much in her career. But yeah, Miriam Puchner through 1:55 back in 9th place. Sofia Goggia just about ready to start. Waiting for this next button to change to started, and we'll go up and start to look at the split times. There's still probably about a 2.5 minute interval between the racers, and yes, Sofia Goggia on course, heading towards the first time check. And yeah, the Italian fans here in Cortina are going absolutely crazy. Coming up to the first time check now, it's about 21 seconds in, and Sofia Goggia is through the first time check in 21:45, 1800s up, very quick up top. All right, let's get into this again. Start interval is down to 2 minutes, by the way, now, so only a 20-second lag. Sofia Goggia very fast through the first speed trap, not fast at all on the second one. But we're really going to see she's lost 7/10 between sector 1 and sector 2. Trying to see over here where that was. She came across that big jump, went really wide, had to overcorrect to get back inside the next gate. She's now made up almost 4/10 between sectors 2 and 3. My video has frozen. Oh, it's back. All right, and now coming into sector 4 time, we're going to see she's still on pace for third. She's only 1400s back, so we've got about 20 seconds between sector 3 and the sector 4 time check, and she's through half a second behind. Is half a second good enough for third still? It is. Cornelia Hütter in third. Sofia Goggia speed mixed through the traps 3 and 4, but she still has a shot at third here. She's just about through, and she is third. 1:36.69 for Sofia Goggia, slots herself in between Emma Eicher and Cornelia Hütter, not close to second, and a good 2700s ahead of Hütter, who's now fourth and off the podium. So really solid bottom section, didn't lose much time at all. She was really good in sector 3, gave it back in sector 4, and then didn't really lose anything else to the finish. So Sofia Goggia right now in third behind Breezy Johnson and Emma Eicher. And we are going to be starting only 2-minute intervals now. So Corinne Sutter on course, 21:61 through the first time check. Good speed, only 200s back at that point. Second speed trap, 128.3. We've seen people hit 130, so she's only the 8th fastest through there. Corinne Sutter, again, I think she won in 2022. Let me see real quick. 2022, yes. Corinne Sutter was the Olympic champ in 2022 in Beijing. All right, 3400s back at the second time check, 4600s back now at the third. This is still medal possible. 6/10 is really 59/100s. That's where Sofia Goggia is, and we're comparing to her now. So Sutter, 4600s back. Now she's going to be in about 5 or 6 more seconds coming into sector 4 time. Oh, she's lost over a second between sector 3 and sector 4. What happened here? She was looking so good through the sector 3 time. Over a jump, good, solid, back down into the crouch. Oh, she got a little sideways there, and she's coming down now, and she's lost a ton of time. That took all her speed out. That between sector 3 and 4, she lost all her speed, and now finished in 12th, 191 behind. So a good top, a terrible bottom for Corinne Sutter. The gold medal winner from 4 years ago in Beijing, China, comes through only 12th at this point. All right, who's up next? It's won by Jackie Wiles of the US, bib 17, and then Nina Ortlieb. And I think any more medal contention is going to come from these two racers. Yeah, Thomas Schwenke, yes, she's a champion. Lindsay demonstrated the importance of an Olympic participation. True athlete and warrior. Yeah, I get that, I do, but a reconstructed right knee and a torn ACL in the left knee. I mean, you're putting yourself at more risks than just another injury. She's been to many Olympics. She's won Olympic medals. She's won everything you could ever want to win. But yeah, I mean, athletes, right? Athletes, that's what they want, right? They want that one more time, that glory. All right, Jackie Wiles on course, 5600s back at sector 3. 5600s could still get you onto the podium, but where people are losing it, they've been losing it all day to Breezy Johnson, is between sector 3 and sector 4, and she's now 96 100s back, so she's losing time pretty quick. Her last 2 speed traps were very fast, first and second overall, so we're going to see if she can make up a little time. 86 100s. She finishes 86 100s back in 4th. You can see it right here. Jackie Wiles tied with Cornelia Hütte for 4th. So we have a two-way tie for 4th place now, but really it's that 2700s gap to Sofia Goggia, and now it's time for Nina Ortlieb, and she is on course. She's done really well this year. Coming back from injury, she crashed in Crans-Montana, like we said, the same place that Lindsey Vonn did a week ago, but had the good fortune of going in skis first, kind of bounced off the net, and was fine. And she's back and she's ready. So she is 1500s back at the first time check. Good speed, second fastest speed at the first trap. Also decent speed, 129.3 at the second speed trap, and now it's really going to be, we have to see where she is when she gets to sector 3. 6100s, she is losing more time. Yeah, the Austrian coaches talking about course management and how to take the course, but 6100s back through the second, coming up to the third time check now. 40, she's made up so much time. A great sector 2 to sector 3 for Nina Ortlieb, 4/10 back. She is on medal course. This would be a great story in and of itself, because with all her injuries and missing the better part of 3 seasons, she's been working. Oh no, she's crashed. She's crashed somewhere around 105 in. Oh my gosh. Haven't seen it. I'm looking now on the video feed. She was doing so great. Is it a crash, or is she just missing? Yep. She lost it in a tight left turn. And she's fine. She's fine. She had a lot of space. She just lost it. Her right ski caught, and she just lost it. Went down pretty gently onto her right hip, slid quite far, 100 to 200 meters, and never even actually got all the way to the nets on the far side. There was a lot of space because the next turn was a big right-hand turn. Yeah, she caught that right outside ski coming into a left turn, and it just took her around, put her on her backside, but she had a lot of space. She kept her skis kind of up and in front of her. Yep, back onto her right hip she falls. And again, she turned around so nicely and was just sliding on her butt with the skis behind her. She's going the other way. So a tough break for her. So much hard work to get back into form after all the injuries, and it did well this season on the World Cup, but she still has the Super G coming up later in the week. So DNF for Nina Ortlieb. She is fine. She's up. She skied all the way down already into the finish area, and now a little start-stop, but it won't last long. I'm not sure what they're talking about. The French coaches talking to Roman Miradoli with number 19, bib 19. So yeah, we will continue to watch through all the racers. It's about another 40 minutes until Oh, yeah, thanks, Thomas. All right. Yeah, like I said, we're going to watch everybody. We have 36 competitors to watch. But next up is Romane Miradoli of France, and she has started. So we're halfway through now, 18 down, 18 to go. And for the Schwenke family, Matilda, number 33, racing for Chile. All right, back up to Romane Miradoli of France, and she's coming up to the first time check right now. 7/100s back, so good for her with all these interruptions to be focused and to get right back into speed. Her first speed check, okay. Second one, not that great. And now she's coming down to the second time check. I'm going to take a quick slug of water here, guys. And all right, Romane Miradoli, 5800s through sector 2, behind 61. She didn't lose much now going into sector 3, but this is the area from sector 3 to sector 4 where people have been losing so much time. She's only 6/10 back. This is still not far off third place with Sofia Goggia, who's at 5900s back, but now sector 4, 161. A full second. Romane Miradoli loses a full second from sector 3 to sector 4 time. And now her speed is a little slow, a little off. And she is now through the last 2 speed traps, really losing more and more time. And she ends up in 14th, 2 seconds back. So that puts her, we've had 19 people, 2 DNFs. Still puts her ahead of the 3 Swiss. This is really unbelievable to see that all 3 of the Swiss racers, Janina Schmidt, Yasmin Fleury, and Mallory Blanc, are still in the last 3 places. This is unexpected. You know, Corinne Sutter in 13th is the best Swiss finisher so far. All right, Ilka Stuek from Slovenia on course with Valerie Grenier next, and a super fast first sector from Ilka Stuek, 2160. Green light for her so far, but her second speed trap is off a little at only 127.6 kilometers per hour. Yeah, we're still seeing good times up top, but now she's lost almost 7/10 into sector 2. We'll see. Most people aren't losing so much between sector 2 and sector 3. We'll see what happens here. Just a few more seconds and she'll hit that timing station. But yeah, she lost another 4. She's now a full second back. A full second back there, and it's growing. Very slow times, and Ilka Stuek coming now towards sector 4. 189 back, so she's lost almost 9/10. Speed is down in speed trap 3, and speed trap 4 not bad. She's the 3rd fastest in that final speed trap. So yeah, really strange. And I'm looking at her, and she was not tucked. She was not tucked very well through a lot of the course here, and she's in 14th. 198 back. So we're starting to see a real drop off here. First place so far, Breezy Johnson of the US in 136.10. Second place for Emma Eicher of Germany, just 4 100s back. And then Sofia Goggia rising to the Olympic occasion. Third from Italy, 5900s back. And then there's a big jump to Jackie Wiles, also of the US. So despite the crash, terrible crash of Lindsey Vonn, the Americans doing well in 1st and 4th. Cornelia Hütter tied for 4th as well. So at least the 2 of them can both be equally upset. about being fourth. Breezy Johnson crying in the, she's in the hot seat still, and I don't think she's ever going to have to give that up. She is going to get gold. Canada, you need to be ready to resist and move as usual, and you're going maybe, yeah, they're talking about Valerie Grenier. They're giving her last few tips there, but she is not having a good race. She's already well over a second back through the second time check, 110 through the third time check, so didn't lose much more there. Big jump for her, 106K. Off the big jump, she flew 36 meters, but some of the women were flying as far as 41 meters earlier today. Yeah, a little wild there. Wow. Valerie Grenier, a little bit wild, and she's lost another 7/10 between sectors 3 and 4. Her speed is quite slow, and I don't see her finishing in the top 15. She's going to be over 2 seconds back. Valerie Grenier, 232 back in 17th. Still ahead of 2 of the Swiss racers, but in between Janine Schmidt and Yasmin Fleury. So not a great day for Valerie Grenier. Kind of started up top and she lost a lot of time and kept going. All right, we have a racer now that I really like to watch, Elvedina Muzaferia of Bosnia-Herzegovina, and she is on her way. She is she's like the Energizer Bunny. She's just one of those high energy, super strong, smaller racers, and she just always seems to be able to rise to the occasion. 1300s off at the first time check. Speed is pretty good. Top 9 in both speed traps up top, and we're going to see now in the second time check how she's doing. 78 100s. So she lost over 6/10 right there. Unfortunate. Going the wrong way. You know, she was one of my picks for maybe like a top 6, top 7. I know last year she had so many great results. I thought that maybe she was going to round into form just in time for the Olympics, but yeah, her jump, 42 meters, 108 kilometers an hour, but the compression that she went through on that big jump when she landed, it was pretty brutal. She could just see she got shoved all the way down, like her upper body touching her knees. So I'm sure that just took a lot out of her there, dealing with that compression, and she's losing a lot of time now. So after that, yeah, she's lost another second at 1.2 between sectors 3 and 4. Her speed is slow, and she's across 271 back in 20th position. So not a great day for Muzaferia of Bosnia-Herzegovina. Unfortunate because, again, she's an exciting racer that I love to see race. We're seeing a DQP flashing on Valerie Grenier. I'm wondering if she missed a gate. So they're investigating. They're doing some post-race investigation of Valerie Grenier. But yeah, Elvedina Muzaferia actually is in last among those who have finished. So not a great race for her. Okay, Laura Gauche of France is next up, and she will be starting in just a few seconds. We can see her down here with bib 23. We've just got 14 racers left to go, so stick with me. Breezy Johnson still, I mean, she's got to be dealing with a lot of mixed feelings. On the one hand, super excited that she looks like she's going to be the gold medal winner, but dealing with the news that, you know, Lindsey Vonn clearly has a more serious injury than we thought. We've got a small break in the action right now. It's a TV break, so they pushed the TV break back. It's not a normal place for a TV break. Let's see if we can see any Lindsey Vonn updates. A lot of stories already. I just trying to set the Google search time to the past hour. Just pretty much the same thing. We're not seeing anything new, just a more recount about hitting the gate, crashes in the downhill. Yeah, it's got to be really, really tough for Breezy Johnson when you're in the position that you're going to win gold. No, I don't think anybody's going to take gold away from Breezy Johnson anymore. But yeah, to be there and have to deal with seeing Lindsey Vonn go down like that. All right, guys, welcome. We're nearing the final 10 racers or so, 13 racers of our coverage. The big news, Breezy Johnson ahead of Emma Eicher, just by 4/100ths of a second in the lead in the downhill right now, with Sofia Goggia 0.6 back in third. But the big news, again, besides Breezy Johnson heading towards gold, is that Lindsey Vonn, you see the picture up here on my screen on the right, crashed badly about 15 seconds in before she even got to the first time check. She clipped a gate on a right turn, and she got turned 90 degrees to her right, came down perpendicular to the slope, both edges of her skis, left and right skis, left outside edge, right inside edge, caught in the snow, catapulted her over. She came down on her face and did a half cartwheel back to her feet. It didn't look good. The skis never came off. I wonder if they over tightened her skis today to help stabilize, but her skis never came off, and she was in pain. People saying that they heard her screaming in pain when they were attending to her, getting her prepped for the stretcher to take her away in a helicopter. The helicopter showed up just 5 or 6 minutes later. We've had a pretty good result here. We've got to break in real quick. Laura Gauche of France has managed to have a really solid lower section and has finished in 13th. So after seeing one racer after another after the break, the long delay with Lindsey Vonn's crash, and then another break when Nina Ortlieb went down uninjured, thankfully. It's really interesting that both of them crashed in the same race 2 weeks in a row. Nina Ortlieb and Lindsey Vonn both crashed in the Super G in Crans-Montana a week ago Friday, and now they both crashed today. The Americans talking to the next racer down, which is Isabella Wright, and she's very fast through the first section, saying that there are a bunch of ripples now. So I think with some of this warmth, maybe 4 or 5 degrees and very strong sun, maybe there are more ripples, more grooves to get caught on. But she's having she was having a good race through sector 2, only 9/10 back, but she lost a full second again between 3 and 4. She looked solid, looked, really controlled, but does come out of her tuck way too often. And she's coming down now towards her final sector time, actually towards the finish. Final sector time, 2:27 back. And Isabella Wright in 22nd place, 2:75 behind. So she is now the slowest racer of the day. Isabella Wright of the US, unfortunately not able to be competitive today. Camille Cerruti of France is next up, and she's on her way. We are down to our last 36 racers, 24 in the books, 12 to go, and Camille Cerruti lost over a second on the first sector. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but not a great start for her. her speed is really, really slow. So something is going on. I mean, 8 kilometers an hour behind. 2:55 back through the second speed check. Cerruti, I don't know enough about her as a ski racer, but it seems like she's kind of mailed it in. I'm trying to see if there's any more coverage here of what she's doing. I'm looking at it. There we go. Now we've got the live feedback. They were still showing Isabella Wright. Very slow on the big jump, very short distance, only 28 meters on that jump. She's gotten it back together a little bit through 3, lost only 8/10, which is kind of what everybody did from 3 to 4. So something significant happened between sectors 1 and 2. I just didn't see what it was, but her speeds were incredibly slow, and it led to a huge loss of time in the first 43 seconds going into sector 2. Her speeds, again, really, really slow at the end, and she's now down in 1:40.41, 4.3 seconds back of the winner. It's interesting, they show the distance here, 110 meters behind. So it shows that she was only 110 meters behind the winner, but that's a huge difference. That is an absolutely huge difference in skiing. All right, yeah, that puts her far and away, over a second and a half slower than anybody else in this race. So I don't know, we're starting to get into racers. I mean, France, she's from a country that has a very tough qualification process for the Olympics. Now we have Andorra. Candy Moreno from Andorra has a DNF after being only 1900ths back through the first time check. We're going to see what happens here with bib 26. Candy Moreno, Andorra, is out. I have the feed now. Feed's coming in. We see Candy Moreno of Andorra heading down. She comes between the two big rocks, and she crashes out. And this looks like it might have been a little worse. Her skis did both come off, but she was on the steepest part of the course between these two big rock formations, and she slid down hard. She's on her right side. Are they calling for, yeah, I think they're calling for the first aid workers again with her. She's looking in pretty bad shape. We actually have somebody coming up on a snowmobile along the left side edge of the course to get to her. Both of her skis are about 30 or 40 meters above her on the slope. So she came over that jump between these two big rock formations, very steep, lost it there, and has crashed. Candy Moreno of Andorra, and she is still on her right side. Okay, she's lifting her head and upper body up a little bit. Rescue worker patting her on the left shoulder there as she lays on her right side. So don't know yet what it might be. But yeah, she was ragdolled down the hill a little bit. I mean, it's almost impossible to stop yourself on a gradient of 60% in the shade. It's going to be icy there. It's steep there. And when you're already doing 100K per hour plus, she was at 90. She was at 89.85 kilometers an hour. Yeah, she is sitting up. She's grabbing her behind her left knee. So we're going to see what happened there. Candy Moreno of Andorra. Yeah, a bit of a tough race to watch today. There was so much anticipation. Okay, she is sitting. She seems to have a leg injury that will prevent her from getting down on her own. So they are preparing the stretcher, but she is up and she's talking to them, and she's loosening her ski boots. She's got put her goggles up now onto the top of her helmet. We're going to see it again. She came down through there, and she hit some kind of groove on, so the jump through the rock formations there. Right hand went up in the air, and she just had no way to correct, went off course to the left. Skis came off quick, hit the safety nets, and it's so steep there. They did a real nice kind of stop motion thing on the broadcast here. Another one, she took the turn at such an angle. Oh, yeah. When she landed, her knee did weird stuff. When she landed, her knee buckled badly. Yeah, her knee is worse for wear. Let's just put it that way. But at least she was sitting up and talking to everybody. You know, these racers are tough. The guys, the gals, they are so tough. You know, you have an injury like that, and you know, probably tore your ACL, MCL, meniscus, whatever. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm seeing the pictures here. A leg's not supposed to go in that direction. For guys of my generation, you remember maybe in the States the Joe Theismann injury back in 84, 85, whatever it was, when he got sacked in a game against the New York Giants. Not sure if it was Lawrence Taylor who actually made the hit, and Theismann's lower leg snapped, and we all saw that on TV, and I think everybody kind of just freaked. Not saying this was quite that bad, but her leg, Candy Moreno's leg, did some unnatural movement here around the knee. So I'm thinking, you know, what usually happens to skiers is torn ACL. So yeah, the weather is still beautiful, but when you go through that section of the course between the two big rock formations, it is completely in the shade. There's a chairlift that goes up on the right side of the course, and there's probably 300 meters where you're in complete shade, and if there are any new grooves in the snow, you're probably not going to see them, because you're going from complete bright sunlight around a right-hander over a jump into complete shadow. It's a beautiful section. I encourage you guys to watch highlights later to see how the racers come through there. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I love to ski. I wouldn't ski down there. You know, that's certainly double black diamond. Not my thing. I like cruising on skis these days. So we're looking at Emma Eicher here now in the finish area. Second place right now. And Sofia Goja is in third. And now the camera has switched back to the scene up top. And here we see once again Candy Moreno. She comes around the right turn and just didn't get her skis pointed in the right direction. So when she did land, she landed so hard and off angle. She should have turned more and come this way into the turn. Yeah, left leg completely buckled in at the knee. I can imagine she tore everything in her left knee. She is ready to go. They have her on the stretcher. The stretcher's ready. She's talking to the lady from the rescue team. The helicopter is now here. This is their second time today coming to get somebody. I'm trying to see now, 9 minutes ago, NBC Olympics coverage. Are they saying anything about Lindsay's injury? Yeah, all it says, the U.S. ski and snowboard team has released a statement on X saying Lindsey Vonn fell in the downhill and will be evaluated by medical staff. That's about as generic as you can get. Yeah, sporting news. was hoping we might get somebody who has some more information about what actually happened to her. So yeah, more just, you know, headline kind of things about, you know, she was airborne as her right arm got caught in between the posts of a marker flag, a gate. She lost her balance, hit the snow hard, rolled over multiple times before coming to a stop on her back. Could be heard crying out in distress as medical staff attended to her. Unfortunately, people actually down in the finish were hearing this because of the microphones on some of the staff that attended to her, and they switched very quickly over to a music background because it was very uncomfortable for the spectators. Well, you know what? Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but Lindsay's the one who got hurt here. You know, you have to be able to feel whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, it is. You know, she's putting her health and her well-being on the line, you know, yes, to win, but also to entertain us. You know, we watch these games to be entertained. And I don't mean like Gladiator, are you not entertained? I mean like, you know, we want to see great stories. We love to see great stories. We love to witness these things as they happen. Sometimes, you know, you see these crashes, it's just terrible. But, you know, yes, this is uncomfortable for people to hear her crying out in pain. Yes, fine. It is uncomfortable, but that's life. That's what you got to deal with. So, you know, I really feel for her, you know, because she put everything into coming back. You know, would I have? I don't know. I don't know if I would have, you know, being me at 40. Nah, I don't know. Maybe earlier in my career, maybe at 25. I know, but then you have the flip side, right? At 25, do you say, no, I'll be back at 29, you know, for the next Olympics? I'll just skip this one. Maybe when you're younger, you can say that, you know, at 41, when you know there's just no way. The Italian TV feed now showing, I believe, Sofia Goggia. Yep. Number 15, bib 15, they're showing her coming over the last jump. And it's really interesting. There's a hole in the course. The riders can't see it. The racers can't see it, but there's a camera there. So when the racers go over that final jump, you'll be able to see that view of them passing right over the camera on their way. But I haven't actually seen them cover that. And now we're looking at Breezy Johnson's ride. She also had a tough time where Candy Moreno just crashed. Breezy Johnson did not do so great in that section. She really crushed it at the bottom. The last two sectors, she made up like a whole second on the whole field. And yeah, but she also came into that exact corner before the two rock formations where Candy Moreno just crashed and lost her balance as well, but was able to control it. And she's back smiling in the hot seat. All right, we have the course clear. We have another forerunner to go down. So somebody will go down. Always do that after a longer break. Gets everybody back into kind of the rhythm of, okay, forerunner's going to go down, then you're going to have 30 seconds to get into the start house, then you're going to have another 15 seconds until, you know, you go, or whatever it is. The interval now is 2 minutes. If we scroll up to the top, next racer is at the start and ready to go, and that next racer is Yulia Pleshkova. AIN. Is AIN what they're using for like the Russian Federation at this point? AIM Country Olympics. Let's see what that means. AIN is the name used to represent Russian and Belarusian athletes at the 20 2026 Olympics. It is the same designation that approved athletes from those two countries were given at the 2024 Paris Olympics. So that is what Google tells me right away on that whole thing. So yeah, Yulia Pleshkova, either Russian or Belarusian, that I don't know at this point. Can look her up again, Yulia Pleshkova. We have a little time here. Let's do our research. 28 years old, is Russian from Yelizovo. Made her debut 7 years ago in Crans-Montana. So she has been around the ski circuit for a while. She's made quite a bit of points in both Super G and downhill. She's been in 2 world championships, but never in an Olympic competition. All right, she is about ready to start. We're going to get back to our live timing. She is on course and heading towards the first timing station, which is right before where Candy Moreno crashed. Okay, 8/100s back. A good start for Pleshkova. 91.87 kilometers per hour at that first speed trap, which is the 6th fastest. And then quite a bit slower at the second one, 125.91. We have people approaching 130, and that's played out into a 1.27 second disadvantage coming into sector 2. Moving her way now, and I'm watching, she had the same problem that Candy Moreno had. Coming into that really steep turn and jump through the rock formations, it looks like the racers are not turning in time. If you take a wide line, you probably think you're going to lose time. If you take a tight line, you're at the wrong angle, and then you get pushed out towards the net and you land in a bad spot where there are clearly some ruts in the snow. So she mastered it a lot better than Moreno. Clearly, she's still going. She approaches the final time check quick again in that last speed trap, but coming down, probably going to finish 22nd, 3.59 seconds back for Yulia Pleshkova, 22nd in her first Olympic appearance. All right, let's see now. We've got Rosa Pohjolainen. Hope I didn't butcher that too bad for anybody who's from Finland. She is on course. We have a 2-minute gap between riders, so we should be finished with everybody in about 18 to 20 minutes here. Rosa Pohjolainen of Finland through the first time check, 800s back. Good speed, 6th fastest speed. Oh no, sorry, my bad. 7,800s back. I was watching the wrong name there. Rosa Pohjolainen of Finland, pretty darn slow through those first 2 speed traps, and clearly not going to finish in the top 20 today. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Good to see so many of you here. Yesterday we had 3,000 people watching the men's downhill. Today it looks like we've been over 500 people have tuned in. So great to see everybody here. We will be back tomorrow again for the combined event. I'm trying to see exactly what time that is going to be. I think there are 2 parts. There's a downhill and a slalom. And because of personal stuff I got to do some stuff tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to get to both parts of that race. But Monday, 9th of February, tomorrow, 10:30 in the morning, it's the men's team combination, downhill and slalom. So we will cover the downhill portion at 10:30 a.m. Central European time. That's 4:30 Eastern Standard Time and 1:30 in the morning Pacific Coast time. By the way, don't forget, it's Super Bowl Sunday. I lived in Seattle for 14 years, so go Seahawks. Hoping that they pull out a victory here. Okay, Rosa Pohjalainen is in 8 seconds back. That will put her almost certainly last as we scroll down here. Valerie Grenier still has the DQP, which means disqualification pending. Rosa Pohjalainen in 25th. We have 3 DNFs, and now we have Giordina Caminal Santure, also from Andorra, and she has started 3600s back through the first time check, lost another 1.2 through the second time check. We've got 7 more racers, 29, 31, 4, 8 more racers total. And don't forget, for Thomas Schwenke and Leon Schwenke, good to see everybody here. Your sister is coming up. Matilda is coming up in just a few moments. She's probably about 8 or 9 minutes away from her start time. Okay, so back to the current racer is Giordina Caminal Santure from Andorra. She's now 4 seconds back at the final time check, 7.5 kilometers slower at that third speed trap, almost 6 kilometers slower at the final speed trap, and she is now into the finish in 24th place, 1:41.34, 5 seconds behind. All right, that was number 29. So we got 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 racers to go. 7 racers to go, and then we'll have this one in the books. I don't see any changes ever happening now to the medal contenders. We have Breezy Johnson, who will take gold by a mere 4/100ths of a second over Emma Eicher of Germany. And then Sofia Goggia of Italy, almost 6/10ths back, takes third. There were big gaps today once you got out of the medal contention. Jackie Wiles and Cornelia Hütter tied for fourth, 86/100ths back. Laura Pirovano in 6th place, 94/100ths back. Kajsa Vikhoff-Lee in 7th, almost a second back. Ariane Redler of Austria, 1:10 back in 8th. Who started first? Mallory Blanc, 20th place. She had won last week. If the DQ for Valerie Grenier comes through, Mallory Blanc will get up to 19th, but she won the Super G last week in Crans-Montana, and we will see her again later in the week in Super G. Again, we're going to be covering every single Alpine skiing event in the live stream with the watch along here, the commentary. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining. It's been great fun again today. We will finish this out. We will watch everybody. Barbara Novakova is going down now. She's a bib 30, and she's coming up to the final speed check. She's 5 seconds back at the final time check, and she's just about to cross the finish line in 1:41.89, almost 6 seconds back, puts her in 25th position. The next racer, also from the Czechia, did they say Czechia or Czech Republic? I think Czechia is correct. Prague, great place to visit. Elisa Maria Negri from the Czechia is now on course. She has started. And then Cassidy Gray of Canada after her. All right, Elisa Negri coming into the first time check in 22:94, almost 1.3 seconds behind already at the first time check. So the speed and the timing has really dropped off. It's been a rough race to watch. Early on, there were some real big time gaps already between the first 3 or 4 Swiss racers and Brignone and Connie Hutter. Ariane Redler, and then all of a sudden Breezy Johnson came along. with bib 6 and just destroyed everybody by over a second. And then with number 10, Emma Eicher came in and almost upset Breezy Johnson. She had a bit of a problem on one of the final jumps, lost 4/100ths of a second, and that was the end of her gold medal hope, but she will take silver. And an Olympic silver is great, you know. Sure, we all want gold, but to be that close, I know it's really hard for these racers. 4/100ths of a second is nothing. And then in third place, Sofia Goggia, adding to her collection of medals at start number 15. And then there's just a big drop off down to Jackie Wiles, who finished 4th. So Americans 1st and 4th, trying to offset some of the terrible feelings around Lindsey Vonn's horrible crash. She started with number, don't tell me, was it 13? Did she have unlucky 13? I mean, you get to draw your position. And I think, yeah, I think she had number 13. Yeah, she was start number 13. And she crashed before the first time check. Indications are that the injury is fairly serious, with her in a lot of pain, an awful lot of pain. All right, number 31, Elisa Negri, is across the finish line in 1:45.48, a full 9.4 seconds behind. All right, Cassidy Gray and then Mathilde Schwenke. Yeah, Lindsay crashed very badly. Happy cycles. Thanks for joining here. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. She went over a jump. She went over a jump and clipped the gate, got turned 90 degrees to her right, came down on the outside edges of her skis, flipped, did a bit of a cartwheel, landed on her face, continued to flip, landed on her feet. Skis never came off. It was really tough to watch. Yeah, so Lindsey Vonn airlifted out. They brought the stretcher, they got her hooked up, they took her up, the helicopter took her out. And then we saw Candy Moreno of Andorra a little further up the race course, and actually a little further down the race course, have a similar problem, crash badly, knee injury. Her left knee almost certainly hurt very badly. So yeah, tough one. All right, Cassidy Gray of Canada in 26th, 1:41.99, and now Mathilde Schwenke. It's been a fun story, guys. Mathilde Schwenke is the sister of Thomas Schwenke and Leon Schwenke. Folks who've been following yesterday's downhill and today's downhill here in the live stream with me. So we looked her up yesterday. She was supposed to do a training run yesterday. She had bib 40. Today she has bib 33, and she is on course. 9,500s back at the first time check, 3 kilometers slower per hour through the first speed trap. She's now 2.5 seconds back at the second time check. Heading towards time check number 3, 4 seconds back. Mathilde Schwenke racing for Chile. I'm not sure where they were saying that she grew up in Vermont, or went to ski in Vermont, or part of the school there or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. 6 seconds back now through sector 4, losing a little more time there, but a fairly decent speed coming through the third speed trap. And now she's through that fourth speed trap on the way down. Final jump. You know, looking at the footage here, she's looking pretty good. Trying to keep in the tuck as much as she can, and she's across the line in 27th place, 7:21 behind Mathilde Schwenke. whose brothers have been on the live stream with us here yesterday and today. So congratulations to her. Not sure, was this her first Olympics, guys? Trying to look at the let's see, the give me Deutsch. Okay, so born in Chile, has been skiing in the pro circuit since August of 2019. Got a scholarship for the Stratton Mountain School in Vermont. She competed. She was 30th in the World Championships last year in Saalbach, which is a pretty decent result. And let's see, South American Cup. I think it says she won the Gesamtwertung, the overall standings. Has raced in other things in the Olympic Youth Winter Games in Lausanne, and the Winter World University Games in Bardonecchio last year. So she is just 22 years old. So let's see, guys. Let's hope that she continues to improve and participate, and maybe we'll see her moving up in these competitions ahead, in days ahead, years ahead. All right, we are back to live racing. Nicole Begay of Argentina, so Chilean and now an Argentinian. And she's coming down. She's already 7 seconds back through sector 4. She's the third last racer to go, and she is in 29th in a time of 1:44.73, 8.6 seconds back. We have 2 more racers to go. Elena Lavastova from Czechia is next. And then who's last? Who's number 36? Anastasia Shepilenko of Ukraine. All right, so Elena Lavastova, bib 35 on course, lost a second in the first time check already. For those of you who joined late, we've been streaming for about 2 hours now. The big news, Breezy Johnson takes gold, Emma Eicher second, and Sofia Goja third. Those are the medal spots, but the big story beyond that is Lindsey Vonn crashing with bib 13, badly, hit a gate, got spun around, cartwheeled, landed on her face. Skis did not open, and she went down hard. And I can only imagine that left knee with the torn ACL that she decided to race with, it didn't look like that was the cause of the crash. The cause of the crash was her taking the turn too tight and hitting the gate. But the result is probably that knee, already weak, even with the brace, certainly is going to have taken another hit. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. A lot of people were tuning in, just waiting to see how she would do. Could it be one of the great feel-good stories of the year, of the Olympics? Her coming back from the injury sustained just a week ago Friday in Crans-Montana in the Super G race, the race that they ended up canceling because of 3 crashes in the first 6 racers. Oh, by the way, they will be repeating that race later in the year in March. I saw a story this morning that canceled race will be repeated. So yeah, interesting to see all this going on. All right, Lebestova, Elena Lebestova. We don't want to miss the end of the race here. 8.5 seconds back in 29th. And we have 1 more racer to go. Anastasia Shepilenko of Ukraine is on course. Last racer on course. You can see the marquee scrolling at the top of the screen here. Last racer on course. And if you look in the top blue corner of the blue, you see 1 racer to go. The little person's head with the arrow down and 1. That means we have 1 person left to go down. Anastasia Shepilenko, 1:64 through seconds back through that first time check. The speeds are about 9K off the leading speeds. She's now 4 seconds back through the second time check. Just great to see Ukrainian athletes competing in the Olympics, knowing how tough their lives have been over the past 4 years. It's now been almost 4 years since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So good to see a Ukrainian athlete here. She's headed towards the final time check. Our last racer of the day, Elena Lavastova. Coming down, Anastasia Shepelenko. And she is now almost 10 seconds back through the fourth and final time check. Her speeds are about 10K slower, little over 10K slower through the final speed trap. And here we go, folks. The final racer, Anastasia Shepelenko of Ukraine, coming across the finish line in 1:47.70 in 32nd place. And that will put her last, ahead of the 3 DNFs, Lindsey Vonn, Nina Ortlieb, and Candy Moreno. Lindsey Vonn injured badly, Candy Moreno injured badly, both airlifted away. Nina Ortlieb annoyed, skied down the rest of the way, and just upset that she missed an opportunity today for a medal. But she still has an opportunity in the Super G later in the week. So there you have it, guys. The Olympic women's downhill is in the books. Breezy Johnson of the United States finishing first, taking the gold medal in 1:36.10. Emma Eicher of Germany finishing second, taking that silver medal 4 100s back. And then Sofia Goggia of Italy, the host country, 59 100s back, will get bronze. A tie for fourth between Jackie Wiles of the US and Connie Hutter of Austria, 86 100s back. Laura Pirovano of Italy, 94 100s back. Kaike Vikofli of Norway, 98 100s back in 7th. Ariana Redler, 110 back in 8th. And Kira Weidle-Winkelmann, 9th place, 116 back. And Frederica Brione, also coming back from injury, very happy with her 10th place finish today. We saw her super excited in the finish line. She had been out since a bad injury last year. And coming back just in time for the Olympics, 10th in downhill, and we will see her in Super G and probably in giant slalom as well. So there you have it, folks. Thanks so much for watching. It's been great. Thank you all. I'm gonna write in here. Thank you all for watching. And don't forget, tomorrow, 10:30 a.m., the men's combined. We'll cover the downhill half of that at 10:30 a.m. Central European time, and then we will not be able to cover the slalom part at 2 in the afternoon due to some personal obligations. So see you tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. with the men's team combined event. Bye for now. Take care.